Leaders League Genesis Season 2. Let's take a moment to look around the room. Yeah? Take a second. You are one of the top 48 students handpicked across 6,000 applicants from India's premier B-schools. If that deserves a round of applause, please go ahead and give it to yourself. This is not an ordinary day, for sure. Today is the day when you get to peek behind the curtain, to see how Nestlé really is. This is a community of people who are passionate about purpose, innovation. Nestlé is not just a global company. It's a company where brands are built with care and careers are shaped with intent, and there's value in everything that we do. And today, you will experience just that. Genesis, more than a competition, is about helping you experience Nestlé as a company, our culture, our people, and what it's truly like to belong here. We believe that the future of this company, of this generation, lies with you, who are curious, driven, and ready to make a difference. And through today's event, you will see how we blend ambition with authenticity and excellence with empathy. So big round of applause to all of you. Let's talk a bit about Genesis here. This is Nestlé's flagship engagement platform for B-schoolers, a space where we invite you to experience the Nestlé way. It's about more than just business cases. It's about conversations, creativity, and community, and a glimpse into what your future could look like. In fact, we have our summer interns here who are sitting exactly where you are, and they've spent the last two months working on real business problems and adding tangible value to our company. They are here today not just as volunteers, but as a proof of what's possible when opportunity meets passion. So if you ever have a question or feeling confused or feeling lost, or just want to hear a real story, reach out to them. They have walked this path. Okay, so we are excited to kick off the day with an inspiring address by our Chairman Director Designate, Mr. Manish Tiwari. He is an alumnus of IIM Bangalore. He started his career at Hindustan Unilever, where he spent several impactful years across sales and marketing. His journey then took him global as he became the Managing Director of Unilever Gulf, before making a dynamic shift to the digital world as Country Manager in Amazon India, leading one of the fastest growing consumer businesses in the country. With rich experience across FMCG and the digital retail, and now at the helm of Nestlé India, he brings a unique perspective on leadership, innovation, and building for the future. Join me in welcoming Mr. Manish Tiwari.
First of all, it's been a really exciting week for me, because just a couple of days back I outside. And it's all about nurturing talent. And this is one of those steps, which is now, I think it's in second year, and we look to your support, your success to make this program one of those really critical programs for students like yourselves who are joining MBA programs. The idea behind this program is quite simple. How many of you have worked before? Okay. So let me take a step back. When I joined B-school, I had never worked before that. Yeah? So I had this very theoretical idea of how college works and what you learn in MBA programs and what will happen. And all of it was very theoretical. And then I went through school for 2 years, and I passed out, and then I learned that life was very different. Not in a negative way, but in a positive way. But it wasn't so much about the theory you learn. I don't know if you got learned, because I still taught. I never got a chance to use them in my job. But what those 2 years did for me was, it was all about the experiences I gained. It was all about the relationships I built up in that campus. And as I speak today, I think 3 of the top 5 FMCGs are run by people from that batch. Yeah? And then you can easily imagine the kind of learning, the kind of interaction, the kind of knowledge you can gain. So as you step into the campus, well, I'm sure the fact that you've qualified and are the top 50 out of the 6,000, I'm sure academically all of you will do brilliantly. But use the 2 years, all the 1 year, is it different? I assume so. So 2 years, I guess, for everyone. Use it to build relationships, to build experiences, and take advantage of every such program you encounter, where you actually get to feel what companies do in real life. I'm assuming a lot of you pre-college would have done engineering roles, customer support roles, but life changes quite dramatically after you join CPG or a finance company. So when I look back at those 2 years, and if I had the opportunity or the privilege of being part of such a program, I think I would have come out smarter, more aware of what corporate life is all about. And I can say with confidence, I have worked in some of the best companies in this country, if not the world, and there is no better place than Nestlé for you to experience through the day. You'll get a chance to meet your alums. How many people are from Haryana? I could not resist it, but you get a chance, whether you're from Relive or the FMS or SPJ, I think there are schools in XLRI, which is again, anyone from XLRI? Awesome. So I come from Brewing. So no, I didn't study at XLRI, it's my favorite school for other reasons. You get a chance to meet some very senior leaders, the business executive officers from your schools. And my strong urge is use this day to connect, to learn, which will then help you lead companies. Yeah? And whatever Anurag and Vaibhav might tell you, the day is all about having fun. Don't take yourself too seriously. It's supposed to be a fun day, a learning day, and it's also great that you have a set of people who just passed out a year back from your campuses and who are now working with us, or have started their journey with us, I think a month back. So, awesome mix of positive influences, right from alums to corporate experience to management trainees. And once again, congratulations for getting shortlisted in this very, very prestigious program. And once again, thank you for letting us at Nestlé be part of your learning journey. And I look forward to meeting, hopefully, all of you in Nestlé or somewhere else in the corporate world. So congratulations, thank you, and have a great day of learning.
Thank you so much, Manish. Thank you so much for your inspiring words. You all seem a little tense. Why? Are you nervous? Are you tense? Okay, let's just play another game to break the ice and to make you feel a little bit confident and a little bit better. Yeah? Okay? Okay. So the reason why you all are here is because you have some unique traits, unique things about you. So why don't we hear about that? Right? What's your superpower? What is your good life superpower? Let me put it that way. So we'll pass around the mics. Let's just hear it. Yeah? Your quirky traits, the things that your friends rely on you, your unexpected talents, the things that make you you. Because at Nestlé, we celebrate the authentic you. Anybody wants to volunteer? No CP, no. Yes. Amazing. Can we have a round of applause for the first? Can you please specify your name, your campus?
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Sejal and I will be joining FMS Delhi this year. And I believe the one thing that makes me me is my ability to be an extrovert. I love talking to a lot of people and that is something I'm really years into. So that is what makes me me.
So, how many people have you interacted with since morning?
We have interacted with a lot of people. I have my batchmates from undergrad also over here. So we have 3 of them here as well.
Amazing, very nice. Thank you so much, Sejal. Then we'll ask Anurag also.
Hello everyone. I'm Rahul. I will be joining Bangalore this year. And if I talk about a unique trait about myself, it would be building new things. I've done a lot of undergrad projects in my mechanical engineering at IIT Gandhinagar, and I ended up filing a patent application for one of them also. So probably the next step to just commercialize those products so that I could turn my inventions into innovation.
Can you tell us a little bit about those innovations?
So if I talk about one of them, it was a gas safety device. I developed it at IIT Bombay during my internship, and for that I won the best invention prize also that year. So that is it.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Who's next? Yes. Hello.
I'm Sarkar and I'll be joining Uncapsulated.
Hi, Sarkar.
Hello, I'm Sarkar and I'll be joining Uncapsulated. So one thing I'd say about me is I don't take pressure at all. Yeah, you can put a very tight deadline on me and I just won't care about that.
B-school will be the best of that. Don't worry about that. Thank you so much. Who's next? Come on. Okay, let's hear it.
Hi everyone, I'm Brewing and I will be joining Keynote this year. While everyone is pitching their CV points here, let me tell you what makes me. I can sleep for 12 hours, 13 hours a day, regularly. So that's what makes me a sleeping partner. Thank you.
You won't be. Okay, who's next? Yes.
Hello everyone, I'm Abhishek Kumar from Delhi. And my superpower is that I can somehow find patterns in data. And no, I know it sounds weird. I know it sounds very formulaic. But I have a tendency to find new things with data. I like to scrape. Okay, so yeah, I like to scrape data from random sources. I've been working in state government, but in my free time I've been scraping data and finding new things, and I've done like 4 Q1 tier research papers in the past 1 year. So that's my superpower.
Such a hobby. Amazing. Thank you so much. Who's next? Come on. Yes.
So hi, I'm Joanne and I'm going to be joining Bangalore, and I think what makes me is I'm a dog person. Like I cannot resist myself from going and petting a dog, and I know it's unbelievable, but I think I've cracked how to communicate with a dog and understanding how they speak and what they mean and all. So yeah, thank you.
We have something called Pets at Work. where we encourage all our employees to bring their pets to office. Then you get to pet as many pets as you like. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes.
Hello all, my name is Rohan Yadav and I'll be joining Antarctica. My unique trait, I would say, is being an all-rounder, be it academics, extracurriculars or sports. I've been doing it all since my childhood.
So wonderful, Rohan. Who's next? Come on. Yes.
So hello everyone, I am Kushal Singh and I will be joining Bangalore this year. So what's unique about me is that I am all in for food. For me, good food equates to good life. And
So what's your favorite brand from Nestlé?
it would be Maggie.
Without doubt. Amazing. Thank you so much. Who's next?
Hi, my name is Nishal. I was running experience this year. And I love cinema and filmmaking a lot. So the first round came to like be creative, getting a short film. So I got excited about that.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes.
Hi everyone, my name is Tejeshwar and I'll be joining Bangalore. And one thing I feel that makes me is I'm a very good negotiator. So I've been to the market with my mom since my childhood and I can get a tomato which you get for 20 rupees at 15 or even 10. And I make amazing budget breads. Apart from that, there is a funny story I would like to share.
Of course, please.
So the funny story is with respect to Nestlé itself. So a couple months ago, I dropped a consumer complaint to Nestlé for one of their products. And this makes it like a complete circle. So one of their products actually had a packaging issue. So yes, it was actually a pretty serious issue if you look at it. It is related to the production and quality checkpoints. So since I was I was like working with Bridgestone as a strategic trainee, so I was going through all the departments. So I got to know more about the quality checkpoints which we have. So when I saw the product, there was a packaging issue with the tastemaker, which should not have passed the QC, the second QC or the QC checkpoint. So I dropped an email asking like, if you could give me an RC of the, if you could give me a PPT of the root cause analysis which you have done. So me submitting the PPT yesterday was like a full circle, from asking a PPT to submitting a PPT. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much and thank you for being so diligent. On the point of your negotiation skills, if I ask you to sell me a pen, would you be able to? Did you get the movie reference?
Yeah.
Okay, thank God. Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Yes. Can we pass on the mic?
Hello everyone, I am Ayushi Sharwani. I will be joining IIM Bangalore this year. And my superpower is that I always stay positive. I can find positives in the most negative situation. And I'm hoping that it will get me through the 2 years of B-school as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, we'll take one last, maybe? Yes. Here.
Hello guys, so I am Nitin Rana from Bangalore. So adaptability is one thing which truly defines me. Since my childhood, I have traveled to so many places. Like I have done my education from Leh Ladakh to Arunachal Pradesh and been to the cold desert. And I worked at JSW Steel where the temperature of the furnace was around 1600 degrees Celsius. So I have seen everything. So adaptability is something which truly defines me.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that. Anyone else? Yes.
Hi everyone, I'm Meher. I'll be joining Accelerate this year. And one thing that makes me is music. I can listen to anything from mainstream pop to folk studio to old English classics, and somehow I don't know my academics or my syllabus that well, but I can learn lyrics in like 2 minutes.
Amazing. So now you have your human Spotify with you. You can take music suggestions from her. Okay, thank you so much for sharing your beautiful quirks. That makes you you, and that's what Nestlé stands for after all. Moving on to the next segment, which is, any guesses? Yes. Okay, so let's kick off our first session, which is a candid, no filter conversations with our business unit heads. We call it the Brewing banter, and it's your chance to hear stories that don't always make it to the boardroom slides. Hosting this session are two of our incredible young minds who also happen to be our summer interns. So, may we welcome Purna from XLRI and Naman from SPGen. Let's give them a warm round of applause as they take the stage. A little bit more warm, I guess. Thank you so much. Sorry, I'm new to this caller mic thing. I will take some time to do the mic check and get. Is it fine? Am I audible? Yes. Sorry, you will have to bear half an hour, 45 minutes more of me and Naman, and I hope you are all looking forward to it. And as we take the stage, we will not just start up with randomly calling our leaders. We want to see how excited you all actually are to meet our leaders. So can I get a huge round of applause for this segment? Thank you.
Can you guys hear me? Yeah, okay. Just to correct you, they might be correct you, but I'm a charming personality. So, I'm sure that I'm
Let's see if I stand corrected at the end of 45 minutes or not. Okay, so before we start with this fun segment, I want you all to do a little deep thinking and come up with a very intuitive answer. It has to be very well researched, because I was thinking about it for 10 minutes straight and I could not think. I was thinking, what is like the movie character or the show character that I resemble to or I relate to? Why is this a question for you? You will understand in like next 5 minutes why are we bringing the whole theme together. But I was thinking, which movie character or theme do I relate to or show do I relate to? I could not come up with any. Anyone who knows the answer to this for themselves? Yes. Okay, he said Dora the Explorer. Please give it up to him. Anyone else? Naman, I forgot. Or is it like I can't see things near me? It's the second one? Nice. Naman, I also want you to think within yourself and come up with an answer for you. Till then, others, please go ahead. Give me a very fun answer. Yes.
Ted Mosby, How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, very nice. Why do you think so? I want the background.
Yeah, I think he's someone who was very passionate about what he did. I am the same way.
Thank you. Anyone else? Come on guys, this is your time to shine. This is your time to tell us who you really are.
I think I get angry.
How many points if you answer?
Yeah, we'll remember. Yes, please. Okay. Why?
Ganga is always excited and a bit autistic, and is basically very depressed. Yeah, that's the two things which I am.
I mean, I don't know, but I am really happy that you could think that much and come up with such a fun answer for your personality. Please give it up for her. Okay, so before we move ahead, let me give a quick introduction that we very diligently wrote ourselves. Welcome to Brewing Banter, where conversations are hot, unfiltered, and leave you a little wiser with every sip. Today, we are stirring two worlds together, the complexity of corporate and the curiosity of campus. And who better to spill the real coffee than the leaders from world's largest FMCG. Please give it up. This isn't your usual panel. This is where stories will get real, advices will get raw, and the line between the boardroom and the banter gets deliciously blurry. So we hope you are excited and ready with your questions.
Here, we believe fun doesn't just stop at flavors. It spills into how we eat, create, and connect. So, in true brewing banter spirit, we thought, why stick to boring bios? And let's do it our way. Add some flavor, and now we've taken 6 iconic movies and shows, each capturing the unique vibe of each business. Your job is to decode the character, guess the business unit, and see the leader is about to take the stage. Let's see how well you read the plot before we reveal the stars behind the scenes.
And before I start introducing, so that is why we did a little fun segment for movies and shows, because we want you to really use your brains and connect the show to the view that is coming up. But before we start with that, can you give me like 1 or 2 words, what are you looking forward to from this session? Anyone can volunteer and speak up? Insights, okay. Behind the scene drama. Okay, please, I hope our BEO leaders are taking notes of what students are looking forward to. Yes.
The decision-making process behind any product.
Right.
What's the psychology behind marketing?
Right, okay. I am sure we'll try to incorporate your questions, but if we do forget or if we do that, please use the time for Q&A and ask the questions directly, because this is the time you really get to interact with the leaders from world's largest FMCG. Yes?
How to be where they are.
Oh, great.
Any fun questions? I mean, these are all very serious, but
I mean,
how do you deal with controversy?
oh, even we look forward to it. Anyone else? Anything exciting that you're looking forward to? If I were in your shoes, I would probably say how to survive B-school, because after surviving B-school for 1 year, I can assure you it is not the easiest thing in the planet. So maybe we are looking forward to that also. And last 2 answers. Yes.
Can they make Maggie in 2 minutes?
you actually can, but we let the foods leader answer.
And I can see your excitement to learning the process, and I will make sure you get the SOP today. Last answer. Who gets the last brownie point? Yes. Oh, maybe you can ask that question to our leader. Okay, so I think with this we can move ahead. We have taken your expectations into considerations, and we will try to moderate the panel in that direction. So the questions and the answers, the insights that you're looking forward to are also answered. So let's begin the fun way. Let us introduce the plots and let you all guess, right? I hope you are excited. First show is Friends. This one is a classic, a household name. Always there when you need comfort. You have seen it evolve, but never fade. It's the kind of category that shows up like Joey at every snack time. Loud, loved, and loyal. Any guesses?
Maggie.
Maggie, yes. And Maggie belongs to which business unit?
Food.
Foods, perfect. So please welcome the BU head for India's favorite food moments that are prompt, snatching, and 2 minutes away. The head of Nestlé Foods, Rupali Radha. Please give it up. Rupali is a seasoned marketing leader with a rich legacy across Kellogg's, Perfetti, and now Nestlé. With over 18 years of experience, she has held iconic portfolios like Kit Kat and now spearheads the food business at Nestlé India. Hello, Rupali.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. Please direct all your Maggie questions to her moving forward.
Okay, so the next movie is Batman. Now, it doesn't speak, but it serves. It keeps your business going. Just like the dare behind the hero, the Batmobile's engine, the pit crews tool, or the tech behind the driver. It's not the face of the action, but it makes the action possible. Any guesses?
HR.
HR? Okay.
Maybe guesses? Have put up the screen for your ease.
Professionals.
Guys, who thinks it's chocolates? Chocolates, anyone? Coffee, foods is done. Professional.
People voting for professional, raise your hands.
Okay, you all get brownie points because it is Nestlé Professional. Please welcome the leader of Nestlé Professional, Mr. Saurabh. Saurabh brings over 2 decades of leadership at Nestlé, spanning iconic categories like Maggi, Nescafe, and professional delivery. From spearheading Maggi's post-crisis revival to steering modern trade, and now leading Nestlé Professional, he exemplifies full spectrum business stewardship.
Welcome.
Why the fruit?
Professionals.
Thank you for the right answer. Okay, next, move on to the next show, Money Heist. They may not wear red jumpsuits, but this category does know how to run the operations perfectly. They're the professor of people, crafting culture and making ensure the entire system runs like a well-oiled machine. They don't lead from the front. And will complete my script, guys. I wrote it with a lot of efforts. Okay, sorry, I will say the last line. They don't lead from the front, but they lead from everywhere, all at once. Please give me your guesses. All are together. Perfect. Put your hands together. For the HR director, strategist behind the scenes, the curator of Nestlé's Talent Hives, Mr. Anurag Patnaik. At XLRI Jamshedpur Alam, Anurag joined Nestlé as a management trainee and currently leads the HR function for Nestlé South Asia region, driving strategic people initiatives across a diverse and dynamic talent landscape. Please put your hands together again.
Alright, so the next movie is my personal favorite. The movie is John Wick. Now, just an introduction about the brand in itself. This one's playful, high energy, and steals the spotlight without even crying. It's the kind of character that runs across the screen, tail wagging, ears flopping, and makes everyone go, oh. Okay, guys, I know it's easy, but thanks. The kind that jumps on you after a long day and reminds you of home. Let's hear it from the BEO who leads the most tail-wagging part of the universe, Ms. Pallavi. Pallavi brings 14 plus years of strategic impact across Perfectly and Nestlé, now steering Urina Pet Care for South Asia.
Moving to the next one of my personal favorites, The Office. This category, okay, now please stick to the script, and when I ask you to guess, then you guess. This category is the friend who gets you, whether you're celebrating a win or sulking off to the side or just vibing with music on a rainy day. It is sweet when it needs to be, and dark when it has to be, and always just the right amount of drama. Also, fair warning, it is very hard to share. Can you guess the business unit? Yes. Perfect. Please welcome the BEO of Chocolates and Confectionery. Mr. Gopi Chandan. And I am Kohicode alumnus with 15. Yes, it is. And I am Kohicode alumnus with 15 plus years at Nestlé. Gopi has navigated cross-functional leadership across India and Africa, from dairy and cereals to now leading confectionery. Please put your hands together once again.
The last movie is Wake Up Sid. Now this one's got that slow charm. The kind of character who started off a little quietly, but has grown into someone you rely on and root for. They're not loud, but they show up every single morning, becoming the most dependable part of your day. They bring comfort in their presence and just the right amount of crunch to the chaos. Any guesses? I mean, no guesses, but does it be honest? Perfect. Please welcome the head of breakfast series.
Can we give up a huge round of applause for our entire panel now? Okay, now that we have met our incredible panel, let's start with all great stories, start with a journey. And let's hear from our leaders what shaped their ride till this platform. You want to take the first question?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay, the first one is So you've led across categories, continents, and times, right? With a variety of experience that you can, how has your personal definition of success changed from when you started your career versus now?
Let's start with a very heavy question.
Yeah.
I think early in your career, you probably probably let external forces determine what success means. And you have probably probably a very set pattern, at least for me, in terms this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do. And then you realize after a few years that you can't actually predetermine it. You realize other than the importance of hard work, you realize there's a lot of timing and luck involved in careers as well. So I think over a period of time, you probably, at least in my case, sort of start defining success a little bit more inwardly versus outwardly. But otherwise, it's still corporate life, you still define success by targets. And we hope to achieve our targets. But other than that, yes, I think it's more the personal evolution in terms of how you define success, and I'm sure it varies from person. Maybe answer to a heavy question.
Can we also get the same answer from you? Yes.
See, this is what happens when you start thinking, okay, there's another question. Listen to the first question.
Okay, so.
Listen, everything gets clearer in life as you age. I don't know if you've heard that. Some people call it experience in the corporate world. But I think having a fixed plan or a fixed mindset typically doesn't work. If you find your groove where you're working, if you're happy and passionate about what you're doing, I think at some level you start navigating your careers and people around you, especially in organizations like ours, start noticing what you bring to the table. And as with most things in life, there are choices to be made. You want to be in sales, marketing, trade marketing. Do you want to work in India? Do you want to work in a different setup? So life boils down to a set of questions and a bit of choice making. And sometimes you go with the flow, but most times you sort of listen to what you really want to do.
I hope our leaders, future leaders here are taking notes and making sure that they listen to what they do really want to do in life. Okay, thank you so much. Our next question is to you, Rupali. You have had a front row seat to building brands that aren't just loved, but lived throughout the country. And I'm sure you have had a great journey ahead. But if I ask you to pick one moment, what was your the main character moment in your Nestlé career so far, what would it be and why? The main character moment. So it is a Gen Z slang that we use. Main character is basically when everything is aligned and everything is in perfect shape and you're just at the top of everything, the main character moment. So what was that for in your Nestlé journey?
Okay, so you should ask simpler questions on a Saturday. Very working capacity. I don't know if I'm going to answer it in Gen Z language, but I think it is when, so I was handling confectionery business for a large part of my career in Nestlé. I've just started handling foods. I think it is when we doubled the business size as of, I think, 2023 end is, I think, the big moment which was defining for me and the team. And I think the other thing is that so in chocolates and confectionery, which obviously now Gopi leads from the front, we are challengers, unlike Maggi and coffee and nutrition. But for 3 years in a row, KitKat was voted the most desired brand in the country. Shining moments to say that what we are doing possibly is right for the consumer.
So when we first started our segment, we asked them to describe what Nestlé means for them in 2 words, and one of them also said KitKat. So I am sure these are the consumers driving it up. Let's give it up.
Now, perhaps my most important question, I would say, is to you, Anurag. You spent... Anurag, you spent years shaping careers, probably mine post next week.
That's the most important question is
Building culture and driving change, right? But if you look back at your own journey, what was that one
most satisfying moments, if I look at the last 5 years, I was very scared when I got that opportunity because my peer set used to be like really, really strong, reputed leaders. And I got an opportunity to work with them and learn from them. And hopefully have been able to be part of the success which Rupali and other business leaders have achieved and supported them hopefully in that journey. I think that has been one of my most satisfying moments in the last few years.
So if I were to ask the same question, right? What has been that one changing moment for you at Nestlé? What would it be?
So I think, okay, it requires a little bit of history going back into the past, but first I have to apologize for my hiding on the black sheet, but I have a customer meeting after that, so I can't be seen in a t-shirt in front of Indigo, but apologies for that. It just makes me feel a little bit older in front of a very young audience like you. There have been very defining moments, but I just have to go back one step. When I joined Nestlé, when I was, at that point in time, we never did such glamorous events like this, we never did such fun events like this. But when I joined Nestlé, I had this thing in my mind that I want to work in an FMCG kind of environment, and I want to work for 3 years, put a kappa on my CV and move on. And every time I decided to move on, Nestlé gave me something better, right? And I think for me, that is the DNA of this organization. This is not just one company. This is foods, this is pet care, this is chocolates, this is Nestlé Professionals, this is breakfast cereals, this is dairy. This is a whole lot of subcategories put together in one company. So if you're lucky enough, like me, and that is really the defining moments for me in Nestlé, to having worked across so many categories and sales and other functions and systems, that is really what keeps you going. And I think that is really what galvanizes confidence. And to the first question which somebody answered about success, confidence breeds success in any sport, and success breeds confidence. And I think that is what Nestlé is all about. So for me, there has never been a boring moment in Nestlé, and there have been several different defining moments.
Thank you so much for this answer, Saurabh. And I believe we also have had a very small stint over here, just 2 months in Nestlé, and there have been no defining moments as such, but I completely agree with you on how every moment has been filled with something or the other, fun and learning, and not a single boring moment in office, in our projects. So thank you for your answer. And now I will flip the script a little. We have asked all our Gen Zs to talk corporate, to talk things like, let's circle back, let's take the offline. So it is only fair we ask our leaders to talk Gen Z a little. So we have certain slangs for you, which is open to the entire panel. You have to guess what is the meaning of that slang. And then that slang will have a question which you might have to answer. So our first slang for the day is, it's giving. What does it mean? What do you think it means? It's a very common slang. It's giving. It's usually said like this, it's giving. Just take a wild guess.
You get something which is unexpected.
Anyone else? What do you think? Take a wild guess. What can? So please take a guess. My fit today is giving. My outfit today is giving. Perfect. Yes, exactly. It's right. So the right answer is that it's giving means it's vibing. It checks every box. I am vibing with the environment. My PPT is giving. My fit is giving. My project is giving. It is. I see Anurag having a great laugh with this. So Pallavi, we have a question for you with this. No, it's a question now. Now that you understand the meaning of the slang, what has been the it's giving moment of your journey at Nestlé? Any project, anything that you felt, oh, this checks every box, this aligns with me perfectly. So I put you on such a tough question.
Yeah, I mean, for my journey within Nestlé, I think the launch of a brand that we call Cellular today, which is our toddler cereal brand, has been quite giving. It was envisioned in a very small time, had a certain aspiration, but obviously exceeded that
that aspiration more than we could imagine. So sometimes, you feel like you can only do this much, but then the consumer tells you that no, this proposition is worth much more and so on. So yeah, I think if I had to say one defining moment in my journey, which has been very giving for the company as well, giving, because it has given us a lot in terms of both top line and bottom line, would be, I guess, the launch of our policy.
Thank you. And now that the Gen Z enters the corporate, and now as you shared how building a brand successfully was your giving moment in the career, in the Nestlé journey, what do you as corporate leaders expect from our generation to bring with them in the workspace, in the corporate space, to help us also have more its giving moments? Anything that you would like to tell our...
Please come with a dictionary that explains all these things.
No, I think the ability to question the things which have been done in the past, but in the right way. Yeah, so that challenging, and that's what you expect from anybody new who comes into Nestlé, and anybody new who's or you guys who come from college, that you will come and there are certain ways we do things, and there obviously is something right about it, but to do something different, somebody will have to challenge, and usually we get caught in we've seen it so much. So when I came, for example, 10 years back when I joined Nestlé, I was questioning a lot of things, which probably I don't question today. Because that then becomes part of you. You become part of the system. You become part of the, of how things are done. So, I mean, for me, the lens that I use for any summer intern or management trainee or whoever that comes in is that how much has this person really questioned the status quo? But obviously done in the right way. It's not to say that everything that you're doing is bullshit. Obviously there is some reason why we do things in a certain way. But have they at least got into the basics of it? Have they tried to understand it? Have they tried to question it? Have they tried to see it from a different lens? What we do with it is secondary. We may be able to implement some things. We may not be able to implement some things directly or at that point of time. But do you have the ability to think differently? Because what we are doing today definitely will not define success tomorrow, right? We also need to change continuously. And that new thinking, I think a lot comes in from the fresh blood coming into the company, and obviously, especially from the younger lot coming in. So yeah, to answer your question, I think you should be fearless and you have that ability when you're young to ask stupid questions, silly questions, obvious questions, but be fearless in at least asking the questions. Because if you don't ask anyway, nobody would have probably thought about it.
Right. Thank you for that wonderful advice. I have learned from it. I will take it back to my college. I'm sure all of you all will also take this to your college, not just in corporate, but also in classrooms. The ability to be fearless and ask stupid questions also, it is difficult, I will assure you.
Okay, the next one is low-key and high-key.
The slang.
Yeah, not the character. He has it. Low-key.
You estimate this. What do you think low-key means?
Probably use it in a sentence.
Low-key, keeping it under the radar.
I mean, that's the obvious meaning, so I'm not sure if that is the...
Okay, I feel like it's more on the slang.
Yeah, you are very...
Okay, let's just pretend that none of you know this.
Let us use it in a slang. So if I put in a sentence, so I would be like, I am low-key very sleepy. So I don't want to show it, but actually secretly I am a little sleepy. Something like that. And I highly love coffee. I am crazy about coffee. So it's like that.
Or I highly love when I went to sleep. So that was a flag question, I guess.
You have to clear up on that.
Yeah. Okay, but we have a question related to this. What's one low-key thing that you love about your job? And it need not be anything.
And the question is still one.
Oh yeah.
Too many high-key moments to think about low-key.
This is the look.
See, on a daily basis, there is no set agenda except meetings and calendars. So low-key, you sort of end up looking at, not looking at rather, what's going to come as a surprise, what's changing in the business world that you're dealing with in your category, what's the competitor done. So there's a low-key level of excitement excitement that every day is not the same. As much as we want it to be absolutely tip-top, perfect, clear, no changes in our schedule, nothing untoward. But it keeps happening, and at some level, that sort of acts as a bit of a fuel. You want a bit of fuel during your day, during your weeks, during your career. Sometimes it comes external, sometimes it comes internal. But yeah, I think the fact that we work in a very, very dynamic environment, we never know exactly what comes next day.
Right. I think this is also very important advice for our B-schoolers, because the colleges that they're going to, there is going to be no fixed schedule, and everything will come on your face at any point of time. So we hope this prepares you for life ahead. And this another question, it's a follow-up question, because there is a low-key and a high-key thing. What is one thing you want high-key people care more about in your job? Again, sorry to put you on such difficult questions on a Saturday morning.
It does make me feel like the questions we ask are not released during the interview. And I will take a leaf out of that book and say, can I take 30 seconds to
Yes. Till then, if anyone from the panel wants to share their.
Listen, in our jobs and as and when you people enter the corporate world, just have something that absolutely is your North Star in terms of why you're working. I'm not so sure if everyone, and I can't speak for people, look at jobs as a slightly longer term horizon or in terms of something that you give back. It's not just the salary that comes into your pocket at the end of the month. It is can be a lot more giving. But just have something that's a North Star that defines, acts as your fuel when you work, when you come to work. It could just be learning for some people. It could just be interacting with newer people to learn something else. It could be something about as simple as, I had absolutely no idea how this worked even 10 days back, and now I seem to be coping with it. So high-key, have some passionate point in your life, some North Star that you sort of keep reminding yourself. It's not a tsunami all the time, but sometimes you need to fuel the tsunami inside.
So I'll tell you about two high-key events, and I think I understood the slang well by now. The first high-key event for any leader is when somebody, and it's not about business results. I mean, there will be many people who will show great results. There will be many people after you who will come and show even greater results. But a high-key moment is somebody who you have groomed as part of your team. It's not on. Now it's on. is somebody that you have groomed as part of your team kind of takes over from you when you sign off from your job. And I think that is something which offers a lot of gratification, which offers a lot of high as far as a leader is concerned. The second high-key event, and that is a little bit linked to a question you asked a little while back as well. What is it that you guys have to learn from us? What is it that we guys can actually learn from you? I had the opportunity of actually hearing a couple of summer trainees in some of their reviews, and I hate to use this word review because it's more of a sharing session than a review. You cannot judge someone in 3 weeks or 4 weeks. And the one thing which came out to me as really a high-key kind of a episode is that you guys are far, far, far brighter than what we were at your age. And I think that's possibly because of the exposure you guys have got, and I think that's possibly the only difference. We do not even have a fraction of that exposure at your age. And of course, Pallavi is a generation apart from what I am, so maybe she doesn't associate with that, so does one. But clearly I think that's one big difference, and that's really one big thing that you can bring to organizations which we did agility and speed much faster than we ever did. The one thing which I think, and it's reciprocal, the one thing which I think you guys need to really learn from us is tenacity and hard work. You guys need to be mindful of the fact that what we used to take 6 or 7 hours or 8 hours to do, you guys have the ability to do it in 3 hours. Therefore, if you guys were to put in that kind of mind space into work, or that kind of rigor into work, the output that you guys can get out of what you do is virtually 4 times or 5 times than we ever could even imagine. So that for me is really something which is an eye-opener or a key.
Absolutely right when you mentioned that the kind of exposure we have gotten at such a young age also lets us to do much more than maybe the older generation could have got. Okay.
Thanks for making us sound old.
No. I'm just saying we're very thankful for the opportunities that we also get here. Okay, so one slang, last Gen Z slang that you all have to decode, and I am sure it is a hard one, is soft life. Soft life. Our entire generation is going crazy on making reels on soft life, and it is a sentiment. It is, how to use the sentence? It's like, I prefer soft life. This is my soft life era. This is my soft girl era.
None of us know what to do.
None of you know, guys. I will share reel with you on your Instagrams. So just take a test.
First zone.
Anurag, you're very close. It's more like living life stress-free, prioritizing peace over chaos, and going into direction of more of work-life balance, calming yourself down. That is called like a soft life era. Guys, we have reels on this, please see. Okay, so moving on with this question, I have a question for you, Murthy. How do you create pockets of soft life in a job that is all deadlines and data at some points of time? How do you create that work-life balance for yourself and your team?
Of myself or the team, I have a tendency to walk around the whole team. So if I go and stand in people's desks, try to understand what they're up to, joke about what they're doing. Doesn't sound right. Yeah, joke about what they're doing as well. But yeah, I think I like to keep the atmosphere a little bit formal and not get stuck in my room the whole day. Which also means that they are also a little bit more free or cooler to sort of come and speak about their different challenges. And that's how probably, what is the name of this slang? Soft life. That's how my soft life for the team and for myself. And I think that sort of also makes me want to come to work every day instead of it being very stressful. On a personal level, I play a lot of tennis and sports.
Laugh at the work I feel very past 2 months since. I mean, I don't laugh at others' work.
I do laugh at
I do.
Yes. I don't believe in a soft life. I personally am very bad at it. But I know that it's the need of the hour, and I always tell my team that I don't know if it is translating into what the soft life means. But if you want peace of mind, always remember when chaos comes that you just breathe. And always have this mindset that this too shall pass. And that's what I always tell my team, that don't rush into action. Because if you get very hassled by what's happening at that moment, you'll possibly make the wrong decision. And it will impact your need or your want to have a soft life, because eventually it's going to become even more chaotic. So, but the only way I de-stress is by cancelling meetings in office. So as you guys get into corporate world, learn to say no, which is prioritize what's really important and what's not, and always give some gap between different set of agendas, because otherwise your brain can never switch off and you're just running from one pillar to post. And always find a hobby for yourself that you really enjoy outside work, because it's important to de-stress.
One point to add. I also realized over many years that different people react to stimulus very, very differently. And then you will learn to tailor your messages a little bit. Because what you say to one person, somebody needs to get challenged, and then they start feeling energized. There are some people, if you feel challenged, then they would
And I think those are things you learn over time when you have a team on how to soft life and how to keep them energized. You can't keep them soft life all the time, otherwise things might not happen. But yeah, we try.
Perfect. And now we all either pass out of business schools, are in business schools, or are going to join business schools. And this session is called What Takes an Unfiltered B. Then we'll ask our panelists some questions about their B-school life, and they, enlighten us about what they've done in their B-school.
And these are the lessons that you will not get from any textbooks, so you better take notes right now. And these are open questions, anyone can answer. If you were entering B-school this year, what is one thing or two things that you would have done differently in these next 2 years? Maybe shed some light for our future. From what you did in your time. For example, if it were for me, I just spent 1 year in a B-school, I would spend rather much more time in committees than in academics.
I would have studied less, for sure.
I would have studied more, for sure. But on a more serious note, at least, it might not line on cases, but I saw a lot of hands raised when she was asking guys who has worked before coming into a B-school. I think that gives you a lot of context. That gives you a very strong starting point when you start studying management, right? Otherwise, management is sometimes can be pretty esoteric. It was very tough for me, especially the first few weeks or months in XLRI when I was reading subjects like OE, which is organizational behavior. And it's very difficult to put a context to elements like that. So I would request you, if you haven't worked before, try and find opportunities to understand what's happening in the industry, try to reach out to your colleagues, friends, whoever. That definitely gives you a much better context starting point to what you read in your classrooms, what you discuss with your friends.
Just to add on, I think, at least me personally, I finished 2 years of MBA and for placements, I had no clue what the marketing career meant, I had no clue what the sales career meant. And I had, prior from scale, we used to have these I majored in finance, minored in marketing. I think I got a supply chain job.
We had hired Gopi in the supply chain function. That's why he started.
Yeah, so I was highly confused, and I think that's something, if you go back now, and I think with the information available on what different careers could be, and I think that's what these events do. I think we could make far more informed choices than what at least I did. So.
I think, I think the one thing that I would do differently is to pick up a skill. When we were studying in business school, the world was in a way moving from specialization to generalization. Right? So it was like you need to become from a master of one trade, you need to become a jack of all trades, and that was probably going to help you in your future life. I think the world is coming back full circle. Today's skills are extremely valuable. So if you have the time, and I'm sure business school does not give everybody a lot of time, but if you have the time, use about 3 months, 4 months to actually pick up a skill.
I guess it's a bit different for people. I mean, I was a fresher, so like there is you do your engineering, and then you do your MBA, and then you get a job. Like you're on that very linear path. But now, and then you realize only once you do, like for me, the realization of what I'm studying in college versus what I will use at work, probably are not even talking to each other, only came when I did my summer internship at Buffetti. I had no idea what is FMCG, what is distribution, who are these, how do distributors make money, so all that, very basics of sales as well, and then of course marketing, no idea, when you're studying. So I think that if you can, and it's hard, I know, because you're so consumed by the everyday of B-schools because they keep you so busy. But if you spend your time, you can spend your time being busy all day but accomplish nothing. So you feel sort of like that in a B-school at the end of it, that you've spent 2 years reading all these textbooks, and when you go to a job, you're like, now where do I start from? Like, I've not learned all this and so on. So I think if you can talk to a few people, especially for the freshers here, you can talk to a few people who have worked, and you know that, and obviously these skills change. The advice you will get today will be very different from the advice that I would have got 15 years back when I passed out. And that obviously will keep changing, but at least you know that what are the things that are valuable in a workplace will definitely be very different from what you're studying in the textbook. So I think that if you can at least earmark for yourself so that you're on some kind of, just to add to Saurav's point, skill building and just not like textbook learning. I think that would be the thing I would probably do differently.
Okay, the last question in this segment from me would be, you are all from schools that all of us belong to, Excel, SB, IMT and so on and so forth. What's that one place or one memory you have from your own B-school that you would like to share with these guys so that they have something to look forward to when they enter college in the coming weeks?
IMT's parties. I don't know who was going to IMT, but it's definitely the amazing parties that used to happen.
Anurag, something from Excel.
Very slightly personal. I got married to one of my batchmates from. That definitely counts among like the top one or two things which have happened in my life. I'm extremely fortunate. Me and Sura, we were in Excel together. She then branched out, and on a lighter note, on occasions when Suresh, you met Manish today, who is taking over from August. Suresh is our current market head, and a lot of times Suresh has told me that she would definitely have made a better HR performance. But that's definitely one of the most very, very personally important parts of my life which I got from Excel. On a lighter note, Excel Jamshed, there's not a lot to do outside the campus. So this is what happens. If you actually look at the demographics, I don't know how many of you are going to Excel. This is a very, very major occurrence if you look at the demographics of when people pass out. A large portion of them get married to each other.
Thank you for keeping our segment so real. Hot takes and unfiltered gyan. We had put the right word to the right segment. I have one more question. You might have your last one. So I feel, as you also mentioned, that when you are fresher, come to companies, you're very lost. You don't have much knowledge, backing of data, backing of experiences. So certain times you feel imposter syndrome. Like, I don't know, how did I land up here? What am I doing? It is a very different feeling, new feeling, which most of us have felt today also and are going to feel in future at points of time. So how do you deal with that? What is the advice for the generation maybe?
I think you guys are far more outgoing than we were. So acclimatizing to a company which is as possibly intimidating as Nestlé is really a fraction of a challenge for you guys compared to what we went through. Again, I take an example of the couple of young summer trainees who worked with us very recently. I was quite amazed. In 1.5 weeks time, they would actually establish contact with not just the brand managers, with me, with the extended team, with the sales team, but also speak to the SBU in Vevey or speak to the regional office in Singapore. I can tell you that today, even a senior brand manager in my team, who is possibly much older than some of you guys, hesitates in doing that. So I think those Chinese walls are fast disappearing. So I really do not see that today as much of a challenge as what we went through.
This imposter syndrome thing is absolutely legit. I will tell you this. This happened like what? When the management training from the earlier batch had walked in, and we were talking, and we are actually here for many years, and we worked on PowerPoints. And so there's this person who walks in and like, okay, we need to do something, blah, blah, which comes back in 15 minutes, it's done. And he makes slides so quickly. And it was like, no camera. I was like, okay, what are you talking about? And for the next 5 minutes, I felt like how some of you will be feeling on day one when you come to a training center. It is real, but it's also a lot of fun because you get to learn something new. So just keep going with the flow and just keep learning something new.
If you look around and you feel like you maybe are not worth it or this seems so daunting and so on, but you look around and you realize that everyone's in the same boat, more or less, right? So I think just talking about it and not making yourself feel like, or just not internalizing it and talking about it, you will realize that majority of the people are in the same boat. And it's not only when you join an organization. Even to date, like Varun was sharing, right? Everything new that comes, you will feel like, oh, can I do this? Am I worth it? That maybe I'm not in the right place and so on. But that's the reality of life, not only professionally but also personally. You feel these things even from a personal life perspective. But I think look around and you'll realize that possibly 95% of the people are in the same boat as you, and then you feel much better. Okay, fine. It's fine. Everyone has to navigate the boat with the strength that they have.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The feeling of collective imposter syndrome doesn't live around. No one knows what they're doing, so it's fine. We are all together. So thank you so much, and you have answered to all our questions so gracefully. But we want to open the stage for audience now to ask their questions to our leaders. Please, guys, this is your chance to shine. Feel free to go ahead and ask any questions.
Please go ahead.
My name is Sejal and I'll be joining FMS Delhi this year. I actually have a question for Varun. So I was working on the Chocobits brand and I just felt like, why are we positioning cereal as breakfast and not as like evening snack? Because that is something I do.
There's someone who just walked away from there and that's a lot more.
There are 3 people who can answer the question.
Yeah, and I think the right answer to that is, let us take it offline. But listen, there's no reason why breakfast cannot be fun. It's the start of your day. And while a lot of you will not realize what sunrise looks like, for those who do, and for those who are early risers, start your day with a smile, have something that puts a smile on your face and that sets you off in a good mood for the rest of the day. But there is also the concept of all-day breakfasts.
Well done.
I hope that answers.
Yeah.
Next question.
Hi, I have a question for Rupali. So, a couple of months back, I had gone to a supermarket and for the first time I saw a large collection of different flavored Maggies. So I was wondering, how do you decide which flavor is put out into the market? And when do you decide, how do you decide when to put out new flavors? At the same time, do these new flavors eat into the existing iconic Maggie flavor? Or does it expand the customer base?
So there are lots of questions in that, but I think it's always staying in connection with the consumer to see what's the trend. I think food is really, really difficult. So just as a comparison, doing innovation in chocolates was a lot easier. But food is a lot more difficult because, especially in a country like India, it's so diverse. And the flavor profiles and preferences are so different. What we usually try and do is try and identify the kind of food trends to the best of our ability a little bit down the line. So 12 to 14 months down the line, because not just the time you get to the market, that flavor trend or that innovation trend is a bit more evolved and riper for you to get volume and value. But also it just takes us that long to get to the market, right, and develop it, in all honesty. It's not as fast as we would like. If the innovation is truly differentiated, then I think it adds on to the core and to your baseline. But if it isn't, then I think the consumer tries it but always comes back to the core. So if, let's say you've seen in the market, you've seen the spicy range is what I guess you're referring to. You will try it. If you don't find it differentiated enough, you'll go back to classic masala. But if you do try a bulldog, for example, and you see, and it's not a Maggi brand, but you see that it's differentiated, then what you will do is possibly reduce Maggi consumption and add that to your basket. So really, it's about how you want to position it to say if it's differentiated enough and I can price it down, then I don't mind it eating into my core because I'm getting more value for every bowl that I sell. Versus actually getting less value for every bowl that you sell by eating into your core, but usually that doesn't happen in terms of how a consumer behaves. It has to be truly differentiated enough, otherwise they'll always come back to what they love. So it's that fine balance in terms of how you design your innovation pipeline. Did I answer your question? Please eat more variants.
Also, before we have the next question, can you guys please introduce yourself, like tell your name and the campus you're going to? We also know you better. Thank you, Rupali. Thank you for the question.
Hi, panelists. My name is Darwin. I will be joining Bangalore. So my question is, I'm not sure who was handling foods a decade ago. So, like how brands So actually the question is, how do brands handle adversity? So the example that goes is the led controversy that happened with Maggie. So how did Maggie actually jump back to the Maggie that we know today, and how did that handle the whole incident, and how did we go about it?
I asked the same question. 1 year.
The king of the crisis.
The only thing I would say is the Maggie of many years back was the Maggie that happened in 2015 is the Maggie that we're eating now. So to me that sort of pretty much answers everything there is. But there is something beautiful about this brand, as with many other brands, but something special about this brand is it's always been built. If you see a lot of communication, there's always a lot of mother and a lot of child. That's a fantastic one. That's a bond at its truest spirit, right? So for a company like ours that talks the quality standards that we talk, and for what we depict, it was just a trust that brought it back to the extent that when it came back, it was such an outpouring of joy. I still remember Maggie was possibly the only, if not one of the few brands that advertised when we were not selling. And it was not about saying we are good or we are bad. It was saying we heard what consumers were saying to us back then, which was that we miss Maggie. And the brand just went back and said we miss you too. So that's a relationship at a very different level. So it was just inevitable that we come back to the level that we were.
Unfortunately, I wasn't there because I would have loved to be a part of that journey and talk about it as I retire. But I think any adversity when I retire, I think what Nestlé does really well is they have spectacular products of immense quality and consumer first thinking. And I think the way the adversity was handled was with a lot of transparency and honesty and consumer first conversations. And I think if that transparency and honesty is indeed communicated well to the consumer, you oversee any adversity. And I think that's really what worked. Other than a big part of it is Suresh sir, who's now retiring, who really went out there and had conversations and reassured consumers, trade, distributors, everybody, and they all stuck by us. What Varun says, right, that the brand love in this country for Maggie is immense. They all stuck by us. It just took somebody going out there and telling them, hey listen, there's nothing wrong with the product. And that's all it took. They didn't ask for scientific data, they didn't ask for reports, they didn't ask to go to the factories. It just needed somebody to go and say there's nothing wrong with the product. And everybody was just happy to get the ball back into their houses.
Thank you.
Take 2 last questions. Yeah. In the interest of time. And then we move on to the next session. That's that for you.
Greetings. Greetings to all the leaders. My name is Rohan Yadav and I am joining IIM Calcutta. I had a question for all of you. We've been witnessing an AI revolution and AI has been sort of impacting all the industries and every business wants to take a part in that way. How do you think it is going to impact the FMCG sector, or what is the use case for AI in the FMCG sector?
Lower jobs.
Different functions will sort of use it differently. If you look at supply chain and operations, we see a lot of use cases in how logistics gets planned, how planning gets done, and ability to manage data at scale is becoming far more efficient. So we have structures which are more centralized now in a lot of functions, and probably will get even more centralized with a lot more accuracy. And here I'm talking about functions which deal primarily with data. What we're grappling with, or we're not fully clear, is when it comes to marketing and creativity. I think what will definitely change is the way we write briefs. I think the way our creative agencies work, because 2 days back I was writing to ChatGPT to give me a script for lunch. This is the tone and tenor, and this is what I want, and I want Rashmika was the brand ambassador, and it was actually giving 16 different scripts with storyboards. The implications are that I think both us and our creative partners will probably use it and hopefully turn things around a little bit faster. But there's also a lot of gray. For example, in Nestlé we don't use creatives which are generated, or images which are generated through AI purely from our proprietary, because we don't have where it's sourced from. So yes, a lot of unknowns, but clearly a lot of change is already happening. Fairly clear when it comes to data and how do we process data. Not so clear when it comes to elements of marketing, but we clearly see it changing on a day-to-day basis.
We take the last question.
Hello everyone, I am Ankur and I will be joining IIM Code this year. So my question is, what does a brand do different to position itself in a way that toothpaste become Colgate, noodles become Maggi, and coffee become Nestlé?
What do you think? I mean, you don't know the answer, you should only say what do you think.
I think it's more of an emotional connect that a brand makes with the consumer. A brand is so deeply rooted in the daily life of a consumer that it starts feeling it as a part of its own identity. This is my guess, but I want to hear from you guys.
There is an answer, which is interesting.
We can ask AI.
Yeah. This is a cross-questioning time. You can also answer.
But it also depends on, who got there first, right? There is obviously a first mover that is undefeated as far as any category is concerned. And then the challenger has another role to play, and a lot of times challengers will do well. It's not that they don't, but and Nestlé is known to, in categories that we operate, get into the market first, build the category, and then try and be synonymous to, like you're saying, the category itself. So a lot of it is to do with the muscle, the money, and the timing of the launch of the brand. Obviously, there are multiple cases now of startups coming in who take up niches within coffee, for example, if you're talking about different kind of coffee, or within food as well. So there are niches that will come in, but a lot of it is also linked to personal.
Ensuring that when you're first to the market, actually not first to the market, first is meaningful differentiation. So Maggi was 2 minutes, right? So that was a meaningful differentiation, convenience, easy snacking, right? Colgate was in almost really redefining the way toothpaste was positioned to people. So it's a meaningful differentiation, being first to the market and giving it time to establish, and being absolutely razor sharp focused on it for years and years and years to establish that proposition. Not getting distracted. Oh, there is something that seems to be more interesting. Let me make 2 minutes to 4 minutes plus something on top. Just staying really focused on that, I think, is what creates categories which become synonymous with brands.
I mean, clearly there is, I think, nothing to which can replace time. It's like what they say in the automobile industry, there is nothing which can replace displacement as far as engines are concerned. Right? So time and first mover advantage, as Pallavi and Rupani said, is something which I think is defining. The other thing which I feel is very, very important, and Rupani also touched upon it, is the consistency of your communication and the consistency of your strategy. A boringly consistent strategy spread across many, many years is better than sparks of brilliance. And I think that is something which marketeers and brand managers need to understand a lot better. And if you can do that, then you can really establish something which is very, very powerful in terms of a consumer mindset.
Thank you so much for your answers, and thank you. And with this, we come to the end of Brewing Banter, where I'm sure we stirred up lots of stories, strategies, and a lot of sass for you all. A big, big thank you for our wonderful panel over here who not just shared their leadership stories, but were also so honest and candid in their answers and created a lot of fun for us. I am sure it is not just them who's learning, but also interns who are taking a lot of learnings back from this session. Thank you.
It gave you a look into the people who work behind the scenes making
the brands that you eat and you love so successful. This was Brewing Banter, and we'll see you in the next conversation once again. Thank you so much.
Let's give them once again.
Person who I am calling upon here is the head of talent management at Nestlé. Somebody very important to you guys. A lot of you guys are going to see him on campus very soon. Mr. Relive Chaturvedi.
Thank you. Okay, look, we were planning on doing this absolutely at the end, but this ain't a Marvel movie. So once the results are announced, I don't think people are going to stay back for the credits. So this is why I put this up. Very important before we actually go into the results. I know you are all very anxiously waiting for it. But the day would not be complete if I don't do a vote of thanks for all the people who have been behind this entire day. And in fact, much more than this day itself, because this entire activity has been happening for the last month and a half, 2 months. So with that, let me first start by thanking our partners who have been our partners in this journey since last year, Unstop. We have them here, and you can just raise your hands, Ansh, Vanchit, and Mirav from the Unstop team. Okay, then our lovely summer interns who are probably the only people who genuinely wanted to be here, apart from, of course, all of you. The rest had to be pulled in. So thanks a lot for all of our summer interns. They delayed their flight tickets, they delayed going back to the campuses just so that they could spend this day with all of you. So thank you again. Our management trainees, who were the only people who were not given a choice at all. Just joined Nestlé and had absolutely no choice on where they would be spending one of their first weekends after joining this organization. So again, I really thank you, all of you, for being here. Our brand teams who pretended that they did not want to be here, but I tell you, they are the ones who are going to get inspired from all the ideas that they've heard today. And if you see some of those ideas in action, you know where they're coming from. So I'll call them out. Kirtiman, Satyajit, Shreya, Mohit Batra, Riti Jaiswal, Silki Mittal, Nitanshi, Tyagarajan, Sharan, Jay Gupta, and Venkata. Big round of applause. Our activations team, who are probably the only people you would be happy about because they are the ones who made all your cravings for food be taken care of, all of what you ate, the snacks, the lunch break, the breakfast in the morning. So big round of applause for the activations team. Kunal, Deepa, and Mini Patil. Our leadership, starting from Manish, he actually delayed his bike trip from Delhi to Agra. So he was doing that, and when he said bike, I kind of assumed he's talking about a cycling trip because he's a little bit of a fitness freak. No, that's not it. He was actually going on a group ride with some of his friends on his bike. He has a BMW, I made to understand today. But he made time to be here. So Manish first of all. But then in that order, we had Varun Seturaman, we had Rupali, Pallavi, Gopi, Saurabh Makhija, and Anurag. Our employee services team working behind the scenes very silently, except when they had to shout sometimes at our partners in making sure that nothing goes amiss. So I call out Geetu, I call out Nitin, Rajiv, Anshul, and please bring the house down for Jaya Oberoi. Other members of the HR team, Mimansa, Apurva, Siddharth, Ayushi, Ratna, Chetna, Kasturi, Preksha, Rajesha, Saurabh. So all of them working tirelessly, some of them today, some of them working on this for the last couple of months, like I said. So big round of applause to them. I saved two names from this, so if I can call you one by one here. So first of those is Ishika. Ishika has yet not formally taken up a new role, but she's, as you can clearly see, looks like she's been doing it for the last 5 years. She is the person who's actually the most important. Sorry, I'll correct that introduction which was given for me, because she's the one that you see on your campuses, our campus and youth trainees champion. And last but definitely not the least, Ishita.
Thank you so much, Weber. Alright, now on to the most awaited part of the day, the winners. I will start.
Winners, guys!
Okay. I will start by talking about the winners of the quiz.
Before we do that, 1 second, we'll just thank our MTs who really worked very hard on creating this quiz.
Big round of applause.
Right there, hope you had a great time at it, because I also did the quiz and it was a lot of fun. Yes.
For this, we'd like to call upon the stage Ishita and Ishika from the campus team. You just saw them. Alright, the winners of the quiz are, any guesses? Okay, Team Milky Bar, please come on stage and see them. Yes. Jaswinder Singh from SP Jain, Tejeshwar from IIM Bangalore, Abhishek from FMS, and Agam Jodh from XLRM. A big round of applause for all of them, guys.
I'll call upon Weber back to the stage since he'll be handing over the certificates. We all, I think we all know what this means, right? The semi-finalists who were here, the finalists who are here. What does that mean? What do they get?
A PPI, yes. A PPI.
Imagine entering college this way. Yeah. So we'll start with the first, Navya Khurana.
Alright, we'll go alphabetically. No, you can come. We will find it.
Bhandari. Kavya Singh. Kushal Agarwal. Kunal Tandon. Meher Mehroki. Nishchal Menon. Nitin Rana. Raghav Lonikar. Sai Suchir. Sarthak Gupta.
And lastly, Tejeshwar.
Take a big round of applause again for all the 15.
And now, before we come to the finals, can we get a big drum roll? We're practicing our drum rolls.
Alright.
Before we announce all, we'll do a drum roll. We're going to do it well, and all of us are going to do it. Fun? Cool? Let's go. Alright, for our finals, before we announce, I'm going to call Anurag, the reason why we went to Kasoli, as I mentioned before, the head of HR.
I have the names of the 5 winners. The NLL scholars in my hand. Are you all excited to know who they are? Suspense? Okay. The first winner
Drum roll, please.
is Abhay.
Okay, anybody you want to thank? Take this moment.
It was a very unexpected because I sort of decided to do an MBA very late in my career, and I was not expecting such events such early on. But I'm excited for my MBA journey now. I had a very small bag, it won't fit in. I'll have to arrange it with this. Okay, the next name on the list.
Amritash. Can we also have Bella back on the stage?
Not as big as that one, but
Amritash, your thank you speech. I might just run away. No, this was very unexpected because so the last problem was basically to suggest an awareness campaign, and I think I went in the room with like 7 of my ideas, and I ended up discarding almost all of them because as the panelists suggested that okay, this probably won't work out. So I told all my friends that I can't get it. But then thank you so much for the opportunity. Even before we enter the college, having this exposure means really.
Number 3, drum rolls. Kushal Agarwal.
So, again, not unexpected. I won't say unexpected like everyone, but very fun experience. But, see, I tell you, I'll be very honest with you guys. Yesterday's presentation was more, stressful than what we did today in the finals. It was, very chill. The panelists were very good. They were very receptive of all the ideas. And it was one of my first time presenting to a panel, and I'm glad that I could win it. Thank you.
All right, drum rolls please. Nishte Menon. And now for your speech.
So I'll tell you about what I felt throughout the thing. I felt like I could express myself and be myself throughout today, and that's what I loved. Thank you for this.
The last winner for this evening, the best drum roll we've had. This person gets an advantage. Sai Suchit.
very happy about today. I've met a lot of people, and I hope to take these connections and people I've met, I hope in Relive as well, long into the future, and I'd love to work. So thank you. That's about it. Thank you for listening.
I wish you guys had the view of the talent team when you said that. That was priceless. Thank you so much for flying in, taking out a long day. I hope it was fun. I hope it was worth it. And to some of you, it definitely was. But for the rest of you, you guys did great. It was a really fun time hosting you guys. This is also our last day today. So this could not have been a